Loose engulfed in smoke from Canada fires. On Wednesday, smoke from hundreds of wildfires that were blazing throughout Canada enveloped the eastern United States. This caused the routines of everyday life for tens of millions of Americans to be disrupted. It also created a sea of code red air quality alerts as far south as the Carolinas and prompted significant health concerns. There was no place in the world where the image was more eerie than it was in New York City, where a thick cloud covered the Statue of Liberty, obscured the skyscrapers of Manhattan, caused a baseball game at Yankee Stadium to be delayed, and caused LaGuardia Airport to temporarily stop accepting planes owing to limited visibility. It was urged by Mayor Eric Adams that people wear masks outside, and all outdoor city activities were canceled. The air quality in New York metropolis was measured to be among the worst of any large metropolis on the entire planet for the second day in a row. However, that was by no means the only location where people experienced the weird, uncomfortable, and throat-burning smoke that scientists warn may become a more typical event as the planet continues to warm. Schools across the country, including those in Philadelphia, called off field trips, relocated recess indoors, and postponed athletic competitions. In Washington, commuters wore masks that, for the first time in years, had nothing to do with a pandemic, even if the monuments along the National Mall were buried in the afternoon gloom. "It looks like Mars outside," said Dennis Scannell, the co-owner of a normally crowded but suddenly quiet baseball and softball training facility in Syracuse. "It looks like Mars outside," he said. The Air Quality Index for the city, which is a measurement of the pollution in the air outside, reported a value of 402 late on Wednesday morning. The number below 50 is regarded to be healthy. Just before 10 a.m., the National Weather Service office in Binghamton, New York, tweeted about the darkening sky. It read, "Sun is no longer visible, everything's orange, and the parking lot lights have come on," and it was accompanied by a photograph of the strange scene. More than 400 active fires were recorded by Canadian officials early on Wednesday, with approximately 240 of those flames being labeled as out of control. At least 154 fires have been documented in the province of Quebec, making it the most severely impacted state. Officials from the Canadian government stated this week that if the current trend continues, the country is on course to face the most devastating wildfire season in its documented history. According to data collected by the government, over 2,300 wildfires have already caused damage to approximately 9.4 million acres. Fires in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia have been exceptionally fierce this year, and as a result, more land has been destroyed than in the previous 10 years combined. According to the Canadian government, this month will see an increase in the risk of wildfires over the majority of the country due to warm and dry conditions. The ministry also anticipates higher than normal fire activity to persist throughout the wildfire season. According to the officials in Canada, the more arid weather and higher temperatures brought on by a warming environment are making the damage significantly worse. Michael Norton, an officer with the Canadian Forest Service, was speaking to reporters earlier this week when he made the statement that climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of wildland fires and creating longer fire seasons in Canada. That historical averages are increasingly not reflective of what we might see in the future, which is why the word unprecedented is being used increasingly more often, said the researcher. This is why the word unprecedented is becoming increasingly popular. The sheer scale and severity of the smoke that covered most of the East Coast on Wednesday appeared to warrant the use of the word unprecedented as a suitable term to characterize it. As the air quality continued to deteriorate throughout the day, officials were forced to issue more warnings. Portions of Maryland, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, as well as other locations, were given a red or unhealthy air quality alert. According to the National Weather Service office in Boston, smoke may continue to settle throughout southern New England into Thursday. Many people in the United States have the misconception that wildfires are primarily a problem that occurs in the western states. However, in recent years, major and devastating flames have occurred in other states, including California, Oregon, Washington, and others. However, the smoke from huge fires has the potential to move across the country and engulf major population areas. According to the findings of a study that was published in 2021, the smoke that originates from wildfires in the western United States, as well as smoke from local sources, may be more hazardous to persons living in the eastern United States than many people realize. In addition, researchers have described in detail how a warmer planet can lead to an increase in the number and severity of fires. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is a group that is comprised of some of the most prominent scholars on the planet. This group has stated that unless humans significantly limit the use of fossil fuels, wildfire seasons are expected to get longer, and more land will be consumed by fire. As of Wednesday afternoon, data collected by the government revealed a shockingly large area of unhealthy air that extended from areas of upstate New York to Connecticut in the east, and from Richmond in the south into North Carolina in the south. Certain regions in the states of New York and Pennsylvania had surpassed the standards for very unhealthy or even hazardous levels of air pollution. Smoke from wildfires can irritate the eyes, throat, and sinuses of persons who are exposed to it, which can cause them to cough and make it difficult for them to breathe regularly. PM 2.5 is the name given to an insidious form of air pollution that is made up of small particles and is found in smoke and soot. This form of pollution can cause more severe health problems in susceptible populations such as the elderly, pregnant women, and young children. In certain populations, it can make illnesses like asthma worse and raise the risk of heart attacks and strokes. According to Marshall Burke, an associate professor at the Department of Earth System Science at Stanford University, the fires are closely tied to a significant heat wave that occurred over Canada in recent weeks. He noted the very clear climate linkages in his explanation of the relationship. In the course of human history, occurrences such as this have been extremely uncommon. But he believes that, as the climate continues to warm, such occurrences will become more often in the years to come. So this is something that we need to learn to prepare for. On Wednesday at the White House, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters that President Biden was receiving regular updates on the wildfires and that the United States had sent more than 600 firefighters and personnel, as well as equipment such as water bombers, to help Canada battle the infernos. The United States has also provided Canada with assistance in the form of equipment such as water bombers. The Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Charles E. Schumer, D. New York, took some time on the Senate floor to express his dismay over the wildfires of unnatural strength that are still burning in Canada and sending toxic air and smoke over the border and over American cities. Along with a large number of other public officials, he warned those who were going to be in the route of the smoke to take personal safety measures. However, he also stated that the issue serves as a reminder of the dangers that a hotter world poses. We can't deny the fact that climate change is making these tragedies much worse. According to Schumer, due to rising temperatures and frequent droughts, forest fires are becoming more rapid, more intense, and more extensive. This smoke and fog over New York and the rest of the Northeast is a warning from nature that we have a lot of work to do to reverse the destruction that is being caused by climate change. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.